What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Fresh, and today we're going to be watching 10 shocking on-air wrestling burials. Oh man, what can we say here? I'm maybe expecting some Hulk Hogan burying some people, some maybe Zack Ryder on here when Cena buried him, or in Nexus maybe when Cena buried them again, because when they won what was that, a Survivor Series? Oh, one more thing before we get to this video, bro. Elimination Chamber was 10 times better than fucking the Rumble. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. First of all, we had Naomi finally wins the damn championship. Anybody that says she doesn't deserve to win the championship, you're mentally challenged. Because she's easily the most athletic diva on the roster, and she's fucking been in the company for a couple years now, and she deserves it, man. She works her tail off to win to do it. And Alexa Bliss, she was a good champion, don't get me wrong. She's good on the mic, but in the ring, I'm not really a big fan of her in the ring, honestly. But she's good at talking and just body language and stuff, but in the ring, she's alright. But Naomi, she deserves it, man. Hopefully she goes over at WrestleMania and she keeps her title at Mania. You never know with the booking and stuff. And Bray Wyatt, follow the buzzers. He finally did it, man. He won a big one. In less than 6 months, he's won 2 titles now. Before, he didn't win shit in the WWE. He hasn't won a title. He won the tag championships down. He's the fucking WWE champion. I don't know if he's gonna win at Mania. Honestly, I pray to God he does. I honestly think he should win at Mania. If he doesn't, then I don't know. That's sad, honestly, if he doesn't win at Mania. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys thought about the Elimination Chamber in the comment section. I thought it was good. I wasn't a big fan of the Ziggler match. Becky Lynch versus Mickie James was alright, but the Naomi and Bray winning were fucking monumental. I know I'm probably forgetting about a match right now, and somebody's like, what about this match? Let me know in the comments. What other match was there? I can't think of the other matches right now. That was like, this is what, Thursday, so yeah. But let's not waste more time. Let's go into it. Jesus Christ, I'm stutter buttering, lettering, guttering. What the hell? Let's get this. You ready? On-air burials. I just talked for fucking like 2 minutes.
Wrestling is strange. Despite it being a work, there's so much ego involved that it's not that uncommon for wrestlers to
Hulk
start
Hogan,
taking
Cena,
genuine shots at their peers. Think of that. Imagine you were in the office and Dave from HR just sent an email around saying you were a massive wanker. I don't think you'd enjoy that. I imagine these wrestlers didn't either. But it happens, and it happens in multiple guises. Sometimes it's planned and a cheap shot on behalf of the company, and other times it's an individual going into business for themselves. Either way, it's never short of eyebrow raising, and at times, quite shocking. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 10 shocking on-air wrestling burials. Number 10, Triple H and Kofi Kingston. Just because someone gets buried on TV doesn't mean it's not entertaining, and that was the case when Triple H got one over Kofi Kingston in 2009. Heading into the bragging rights pay-per-view, Team Raw was comprised of DX, Mark Henry, The Big Show, Cody Rhodes, Jack Swagger, and, naturally, Kingston. Because this is wrestling, they couldn't get on with each other, so Kofi decided he'd play peacekeeper and try to calm everybody down. In the midst of this, though, Triple H interrupted to ask what was a very astute question. Namely, what in the hell happened to Kingston's Jamaican accent? Coming in as a man from the Caribbean, Kofi was asked to put on a voice before slowly fading it out. Clearly, someone thought this needed to be addressed, so they chose this moment to do it. It was funny and I did enjoy it. It didn't do much for Kofi aside from making him look a bit stupid. Number 9, Piggy James. Sometimes WWE does some things that you're right to question. Unfortunately, we never know the true story, so it's hard to ascertain exactly what's going on, but this one is a little more cut and dry than most. Mickie James, who was feuding with LayCool in late 2009, was apparently deemed by management to be carrying too much weight. That's ludicrous if you go back to this era, as that's clearly not the case, but it's the sentiment that's even worse. There was literally no problem here. Just to turn it into downright awful TV, Michelle McCool and Layla started ripping into her appearance, right down to calling her Piggy James, imposing her head onto a pig's body, and even dressing up like a pig. It just came across as horrendous bullying when there was no need. And yeah, I get it, they were heels, but there's some truth in the matter. Don't air it on TV. Number 8, Billionaire Ted. As the WCW versus WWF war began to heat up, Vince McMahon came up with the ultimate way to get one over his competition. Given that Ted Turner had lured away the likes of Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, McMahon created the Billionaire Ted skits, where some guy pretended to be Turner. He also frequently conversed with the likes of the Nacho Man and the Huckster. Now, whoever could that be a reference to? Now, firstly, these were terrible. They weren't funny, they weren't enjoyable to watch, and basically wasted everybody's time. Just to add the boot in further, all that happened was WWF came off looking really bad, while Hogan, Savage and Turner went on to find great success. It probably would have made more sense if McMahon had just focused on his own product. Number 7. The Spirit Squad are sent packing.
Yeah.
While the Spirit Squad was never going to be long for this world, in theory it was a good idea. Get a load of talented dudes from Ohio Valley Wrestling and introduce them all at the same time. There's safety in numbers, and WWE could use this to slowly develop them into some individual performers. It worked at first, and once they were put in a feud with DX, a lot of people assumed this would do wonders for the young up-and-comers. Learning on the job with some of the best in the business. But that's not what happened. Of course that's not what happened. Instead, Triple H and Shawn Michaels ran rampant over the Fivesome before sending them on their merry way. And I mean that literally too. The Spirit Squad were thrown into a box that had a big label on it which read, Destination OVW. Or in other words, we're kicking you back to developmental. If the company isn't going to take these people seriously, why would I? Honestly. Number 6. WCW's own
fucked up.
Burying someone is a risky business, especially if it comes back to bite you in the ass. Then not only do you look mean for doing it anyway, but you also look stupid as well. Mean and stupid. That's not the best combination. So when the January 4th, 1999 episode of Raw was pre-taped and just so happened to have Mick Foley winning his first ever world title, WCW decided to announce this news on their live Nitro. Commentator Tony Schiavone literally said on air, "Don't bother to tune into our rival show because Mankind is winning the world title." He topped that off with, "That'll put butts in seats." Well, it did. At that very moment, around 600,000 people turned the channel because they wanted to see that very thing happen. I would imagine a lot of those individuals stayed over there as well, leaving WCW to eventually die. Good work, guys.
You stupid.
Good work. Number 5. Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid. At In Your House 12, its time in 1996, Bret Hart took on Psycho Sid for the world title.
Bro, when he came off the top rope and the
this was originally meant to be later
kicking
spot,
and
but the Mastodon was injured, so the relevant
changes
changes were made. Given that Shawn Michaels was involved with both men, though, he joined the announcing booth to give his unique take on things. As you would assume with HBK, this take was nothing if not controversial, hence why he called Psycho Sid the most expensive piece of luggage in the WWF, or that Bret Hart was struggling to have a good match with this lumbering big man. It's true that Sid wasn't the best worker, but I don't think we need to be told this on live TV. Number 4. CM Punk's pipe bomb. When CM Punk grabbed the microphone on Raw in 2011, he was about to propel himself into the main event scene. Being allowed to basically say whatever he wanted, Punk clearly shot from the hip the whole time, putting over Colt Cabana and Ring of Honor, while burying Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H. Both the crowd in the arena and the internet at large went crazy about the whole thing, and many called it one of the best unscripted promos of all time. It was certainly up there, because the whole thing felt real. And that's probably because it was a good reflection of Punk's feelings with the WWE and the people in charge. Even if he was given the green light to go off,
CM Punk's ever gonna go back to the WWE?
You've got to believe that it was this that's in his heart. And he got to bury loads of people while doing it. That's a win-win. Number 3. Doug Gilbert. In 1999, somewhat famous independent wrestler Doug Gilbert found himself in a feud with Brian Christopher for Power Pro Wrestling. Even with all his experience though, he clearly had no idea when to keep his mouth closed, which was proven even more so on one fateful night in October. Seemingly not caring about whether he was employed anymore or not, Gilbert said that Christopher was only given title runs in Memphis because his dad was Jerry Lawler, that promoter Randy Hales was a crack addict, and even mentioned allegations that Lawler had been involved with a 13-year-old girl. Now that would have been controversial enough, but the King had been cleared of any criminal charges. In the least shocking moment in history, Gilbert was fired straight away, and a quick watch of the footage and the shocked faces in and around the ring are proof that no one had a clue this was about to happen. Number 2, Scott Steiner and Ric Flair. Scott Steiner was a very good pro wrestler. There's no debating that. But he was also crazy. Maybe. And once he started opening his mouth, it was seemingly hard for him to close it again. There's countless examples I could give to you about this, but one of the major ones was on Nitro in February 2000, where Steiner set his sights on Ric Flair. Ripping him to shreds, Scott claimed millions tuned in to watch Steve Austin on Raw whenever the Nature Boy was on screen, and to be honest, that he thought WCW sucked. Amazingly, there was no punishment for Steiner, probably because at this point he was a bit of a loose cannon and no one dared say anything. He would have literally eaten them alive and then pumped out some
steroids up the ass.
Number 1, Vince Russo and Hulk Hogan. Bash at the Beach 2000 is just nuts. As well as the night Booker T finally got to the top of WCW after he beat Jeff Jarrett for the title, it's also the occasion where Jarrett, Vince Russo and Hulk Hogan got involved in absolute nonsense. The story has changed more than Big Show has turned heel and back, and you're more than welcome to pick whichever version of the truth you'd like to believe. If we look at the evidence, however, this seems to be the chain of events. Earlier in the show, Jeff had laid down and let Hogan pin him, which is dumb, but that was agreed by all parties. Once Hulk had left the building though, Russo went into the ring and cut a scathing promo on the Hulkster saying they'd never see the man back in WCW as long as he was in charge. He then said he was a big bald son of a bitch, and then that he was a piece of shit. Hogan didn't know this was coming, a point that's backed up by a lawsuit he filed. Russo had seemingly gone into business for himself, and it was the last time we would ever see Hogan on WCW TV. So in that sense, there was some honesty in the whole thing. But what a mess.
You stupid
what a burial.
Russo is so
Know of any other wrestlers that were buried on air? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can even come tell me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from What Culture, and I'm about to bury you on air.
And that'll do it. That's crazy, man. The most shocking one to me, I wouldn't say, I don't know if you call it most shocking or crazy. The whole fucking Spirits God where DX put him in the box and said going back to OVW, that's fucked up, man. That's crazy, but yeah, the burials happen a lot on TV and it sucks, and a lot of good wrestlers get buried, but I mean, it's part of the business, and not everybody is liked, not everybody can get over, not everybody's Daniel Bryan, so I mean, let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section below. Who do you think got buried the worst? Who do you think was the most shocking on this video? Link to the original video will be in the description down below, so go check out this video more content from What Culture. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Social media will be in the description down below, so hit me up on Twitter and in the comment section for more video ideas. And yeah, it's been your boy Fresh, and peace. What do you guys think about the Elimination Chamber too? Let me know about that in the comment section below. I thought it was fucking amazing.